Hey everybody, welcome to C's Backstage. This is your all-access pass to everything you need to know to design, produce, and inspire your next event. I'm your host, Troy Peters, C's Productions' very own Chief Experience Officer, here to guide you through the world of live event production. Remember to subscribe to the podcast at cspro.com/backstage or wherever you get your favorite podcasts so you too can get backstage and be in the know. We're on the road this week. We are speaking to organizations across the West, from Cal SAE up in Oregon to MPI in San Francisco, and now MPI here in the capital, Sacramento. So we're excited to get the word out, excited to get everybody involved and learning more about what it is we do. This one's a little bit unique. I've actually was asked to create probably almost 10 years ago, a presentation about the best apps to have on your smart device. And that has evolved over the years. So this is the latest and greatest version of that presentation, which I'm giving here tomorrow in Sacramento. And then we thought we'd have the highlights on our Backstage podcast. So here we go. So as I said, I'm here traveling, and I travel a lot. I love it. It's part of my job. It's what I do. So I've embraced it, and there's certain hacks that you need in order to survive the amount of travel that I do, or really any travel that we do. And my top apps are always going to be my hotel brands and my airline brands that I subscribe to and have been a member of for decades really now. And then the other things like Uber and Lyft and the ride sharing apps and food delivery apps and things like that. But the number one app that I look at more than anything else when I'm traveling is FlightAware. You want to know where your plane is when you're waiting for it to come in? You're sitting at the airport. You need FlightAware. This will tell you exactly, if you know your plane's flight number, you can find out exactly where your plane is, even if it's not on its way to the airport that you're at. You can find out where it's coming from to go to what airport, then to come to your airport, find out wherever it is, know exactly what kind of weather it's traveling through, so it might be delayed, and exactly when it lands, when it's taxiing, when it's taking off, all of that. You can even see how fast it's traveling, exactly where it is on a map. It's unbelievable, and the information in FlightAware is always ahead of what you're going to get from your airline app or any other, even digital signage in the airport. It's absolutely incredible. The other piece that I always like to keep an eye on is AccuWeather. We all have an app on our phone that has some sort of weather, sort of shows the day, what the day is going to look like, what the weather quality is going to look like, maybe the next week or so. But if you are planning any sort of event that's outside or in the elements, you need to have AccuWeather. I can talk about a specific event that we planned a few years ago where we were on the roof of a building for a very high level sponsor event, a donor event. And this was in Arizona, and we have these summer storms that come through, these haboobs that come in, and it is a windstorm like no other. Dust comes flying, followed by lightning, rain, and thunder. And we were scheduled to start the program at 7 o'clock at night to just take a full advantage of being on the roof of downtown Tempe, Arizona. And one of our team members was tracking the weather the entire time because we knew that there was a chance of a storm that night. And sure enough, we were able to track using radar and satellite imagery to see exactly how fast that storm was tracking. We measured the distance using the app to see exactly what time it was going to show up on our doorstep. We did that, we followed that, and we were able to go to the client and say, look, we're going to have a storm hit us right when that keynote speaker is going to take the stage. So we conferred with them. They decided that let's move it up an hour. So we were able to get the program done, moved everybody inside for dinner, and the storm hit the moment that we were starting to take down the equipment. We got all the equipment down. We got some elements wet, but there was some speakers and some cable and some truss. That stuff's fine. We got all the electronics into the building before it was too late. So again, AccuWeather, highly recommend having that in your pocket. And the last piece on the travel side of things is really having some sort of Translate or iTranslate app. Those are two apps, Translate and iTranslate, that you can use to have a conversation. We're in a world where we're working in a global sphere, and we need to be able to have conversations with people that might not be able to speak our language as well as we speak our language. I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but these two apps are amazing. Translate will scan a sign and it will translate it into your language, or translate an English sign into somebody else's language, whatever your language is. The other one, I Translate, you can just open up the app and let it sit there, have a conversation with somebody that speaks a different language, and it will translate for both of you. It just transcribes everything that you're saying and in whatever your language is that you need, and then you can even export that as well and keep a track of what you've learned and continue on. The piece I want to talk about is health and wellness apps. I love my Nike Fitness, Nike Run apps. I love my, the gym app that I use to go to and that sort of thing. But there's 2 or 3 in particular that as event planners, we must have. The first one comes from the American Red Cross, and it's the First Aid app. It will tell you what to do if anything happens. If somebody has a heart attack, somebody falls, breaks a bone, somebody's choking, you can even take certain parts of the app and learn all those things so that you know what to do in those situations. There's education and a little tests in there to make sure that you can handle any situation. But you can also then use it if something does happen. You can dial 911 and have the app open while you're talking to a 911 operator and keep the situation under control, or try to help out as much as you can with real pictures and things. So, trying to find where the person's trachea is, or where to exactly press for the Heimlich maneuver. All these things are in this app. Please have this app on you. I don't care what you do, if you're involved in the industry or not, have the app. You never know when you might be needing to step in and help somebody out. The other health and wellness apps are Fujicate. That is an amazing app that you can actually just scan a barcode, find out what the calories and nutrition are in any specific item, pretty much in your entire grocery store. I don't think I've come across anything that it did not read that was essentially for common use. Pretty amazing. You can customize it and you can track different foods, things that you normally would be using. The other things, I'm a parent of a child who's got a severe peanut and tree nut allergy, and we can't mess around because it is life-threatening. So being able to have an app, or 2 apps that I use actually, one's called Spoken, one's called Allergy Eats. They are crowdsourced, but they have 400,000 plus restaurants, I think, all across North America. When we were traveling to Hawaii, where things like macadamia nuts are in a lot of products, we were able to find the restaurants that were safe. You could follow, you enter the allergens that you want to avoid, whether it's wheat or gluten or whatever it is, and it'll just find those places for you. You can read reviews from other people that are saying, the server knew exactly what we were talking about, and the kitchen has a whole separate prep area. They will have all of that information in there, and they plug into OpenTable, so you can go right from that and then make your reservation, which is absolutely amazing and very important in this day and age. All right, moving on. This is photography, video, and creativity apps. Adobe, we know how great the Adobe Creative Suite is, and what they've done for their app side of things is absolutely a game changer. They are so on top of it, but that comes at a price. You've got to be an Adobe subscriber, but they do have a few things that are pretty amazing, and the one thing that are for free, and the one thing that I'm really impressed with is Photoshop Express. It's Photoshop in your pocket. The things you can do, from cropping, editing, adding filters, putting stickers on, removing unwanted elements, retouching your selfie, we all want to look fantastic, and even adding makeup to your pictures, amazing. It's absolutely stellar. Export that, put it into a nice brochure. You've got some online marketing, whatever you need to do with that. But Photoshop Express by Adobe is pretty outstanding. The other 2 things that I've been using lately are Unsplash. Unsplash is a great desktop program that I use, and it just has a whole bunch of royalty-free photos that you can choose. You can search for just about anything and find a royalty-free photo that a professional photographer has taken, and then just offer it up for use. They usually ask that you credit the photographer, however you want to do that, but you can access these photos, download them. They're, again, royalty-free. Use them as you wish. The last app that I want to talk about is the AI voiceover generator. This is a really powerful app. It is a subscription based service, but you can turn it on, pay for a month, get all the VOGs, welcome to the conference, please take your seat. Our program will begin in 10 minutes. All those things. Silence your cell phones. You can do all of those things using several different voices. I think there's 35 different voices that you can choose from, and you just type in what you want it to say and it puts it out in a very realistic way. You can also do multiple languages. So if you need to do it in English first and then in Spanish as well, or whatever other language you need, it is unbelievably brilliant at doing just that. So again, Unsplash and the AI voiceover generator, along with Photoshop Express for the apps that I say you need to have on your device. Over in the AI, VR, AR world, we're looking at Firefly. Firefly is an AI note taker that will, as you're speaking, take all the notes. This is great for, I spend a lot of time volunteering on boards of directors and committees and that sort of thing, and you want to capture everything. Or if you're meeting with a client or meeting with a hotel, you want to capture what you're talking about. This app, Fireflies, will transcribe everything that you're saying, everything that you're having a conversation. You just turn it on, let it sit on the table while you're having that conversation or while you're on a phone call, and then it will summarize everything. It'll transcribe everything. You can export it. It'll summarize it and basically say, this is what you've accomplished in this conversation. Here are the highlights. The other couple of AI things that are out there are ChatGPT, obviously very popular on the desktop world, but the app is just as brilliant. You can use it to have a personal assistant ready right in your pocket, right? So you can have it to help design a menu, maybe create a bio or a voice of God announcement that you need to do, and you just want some sort of better version of a script to put up on the stage. Summarize contracts, put a contract into it, summarize what it is so that you know all the pieces that are in there, find venues, source vendors, all of those things in your pocket, on your phone, on your smart device. It's unbelievable. Here's the future, right? And there are, still on the AI side, there are a couple of other apps. One is Leo AI. The Leo's short for Leonardo, but it is an incredibly powerful graphic AI engine. So you can put in some ideas and you can get graphics out in all sorts of different themes. A similar one as well is Arvin. I haven't played with the Arvin one much, but the Leo AI one is really powerful, really creates some very, very cool looking graphics that you can then, export, put into a PowerPoint or put into a video, make a video with it and have this more exciting, enhanced look and feel rather than just some still photos or whatever you're using. All right. Onto the audiovisual and streaming apps that are out there. So things that we use, something that I use on a daily basis when I'm working with clients on show site. The number one thing is speed test. The speed test app will tell you what the bandwidth is that you're getting from your internet. So if you're paying for this much bandwidth and you want to know that that's what you're getting, or figure out why your bandwidth is slowing, or if it's not there at all. We did an event at a brand new property in Tampa Bay a few years ago, and the internet went down. But we had routers nearby. We had a Wi-Fi service or a cellular service. We were able to switch over to that, and we were still able to keep everybody connected. But we could only really tell because we had that app, and we were able to see that the speed went right down to zero. There was no internet available. Even though it showed on your phone you had full bars, nothing, you couldn't search. You could connect, but you couldn't get online. The other thing is, and even the speed test one, even if your home service provider is telling you you're getting one thing, if you run that test, you can have a conversation with them and go, look, speed test says I'm getting this, what's up? The other really cool app that I've been using lately is Lupidio. Lupidio is video, think looping video. Lupidio, the app, is basically a place that you can just put videos and then plug it into a monitor or digital signage, click play, and it'll continue to loop that video over and over and over. So you can have it so you set it to different days. You want to play that video this day or this video that day, have different branding or advertisements on that digital signage. It'll just continue to play until you tell it to stop. You can also stack videos. You can have multiple videos that will play. So you want this first one, second one, third one, and it'll just continue to play and cycle through as long as it's turned on. The other couple things are speech timer and stage timer. These are great apps for just being able to have some sort of speaker timer or a way for a speaker to know how long they've got to speak. I can't remember which one of them. One of them actually allows you to send messages to it via another device so that you can just say, hey, you need to wrap it up. You've gone on too long. So that's kind of a nice perk. The other game changer app is Prompt Smart Pro. There's a couple of good prompting devices, prompting apps out there, but this one is incredibly powerful. It'll listen to you as you're speaking and advance your script. And you can actually record on your phone and it'll overlay your script over your video so that you can just, looks like you're looking right at your phone. I should probably use that a little bit more often, as I'm always just going off the cuff. I should try to script these things out a little bit better, but it is a speech recognition based teleprompter that will adjust speed as you're going. You can also get an app to connect to the app. You can adjust the speed yourself with just a little thumb control, and import content from the cloud, export your final script, all of that sort of thing. It's really incredible. Again, that's Prompt Smart Pro, the teleprompter app. Moving on to event-specific apps, there's a couple that I want to mention. Yap is one that I've been just starting to play with, but it allows you to essentially build an app for your event. From being able to have everybody socially networking on the app, having a message from your CEO or leadership, welcoming people to the event, having a social media stream that's really dedicated to it. You can have all your tracks, where they're located, have some photos on. It's really like any app you've seen, but it's yours. You customize it, you build it how you want to. Pretty incredible. The other ones that I love as a presenter is Slido, right? Being able to, or even as an attendee, being able to use Slido to post a question that then the presenter gets and can read it, and then other people in the audience can also see those questions so they don't ask the same question, and they can see questions that they like and then upvote them so that maybe the hottest topic always gets to the top of the list. So myself as a presenter being able to see that, that's amazing. I want to talk about AI. Okay, I see everybody's asking the same question about AI. Let's move that to the top of the list. Let's have that conversation, right? So again, Slido, the app, pretty incredible to have in a live event. All right, we're down to our last two apps. As independent contractors or freelancers, we're always working for different clients, right? We're maybe spending some time and effort in this world, and then some time and effort in this world. Might be in the same day, might be over multiple days. You really want to capture that time as easy as possible, and there's an app for that called Cash Clock. Cash Clock, you just click it to log in, you start working on that project, you assign, when you're done, you click it again, it just captures those hours, and you just assign it to what bucket you want it to go into what folder, and then you summarize them all at the end, and then you bill for that. It's pretty amazing to really keep an eye on what things you're working on. And then the last app that I want to talk about is the app that really changed my life and allowed me to realize where we were going. This was back in 2010, maybe even earlier, 2009. I mean, we were talking iPhone 4, I think was out at that time, iPhone 5, something like that. But there was an app that was created for the iPad. iPad had only been out a couple of years, and it was called I Annotate PDF. If everybody remembers, those other meeting planners, or even on the event vendor side, we would travel to show site with a three-ring binder that was so thick and so cumbersome, and we would put one at every show desk, and that would be our tool that would allow us to update diagrams, look at F&B, look at contracts, schedules, contact emergency information. We had our emergency plan in there, all this in this thick book, and it was cumbersome. So iAnnotate came out, iAnnotate PDF, and it was basically like you were working with paper. We would scan that entire show book in, put it into iAnnotate PDF, and you have a document where you can take a page out, you can email it to somebody, you can look at a diagram, you can write on it with a pen, you can create a box, put notes there, share it with certain people, not share it with other people, send the original, whatever you needed to do. It is still so incredible. I use it to this day. I put photos in when I'm on site surveys, measurements. I'm constantly marking it up, making changes, making adjustments, sending originals, sending updates on the daily. So if I'm on show site and we want to lose the entire front row of theater seating in a ballroom, I just go into the app and I just like XXX through those chairs and then send it to the house. Next morning I come back in, those chairs have been removed. Absolutely brilliant. Incredibly powerful. Share notes, share everything. Again, iAnnotate PDF, my #1 choice, has been for a decade now. having a tool that's on site. So I hope everybody was able to find something in this that they're going to take forward, use, and really be able to elevate their game. This again has been C's Backstage, your all-access pass to everything you need to know to design, produce, and inspire your next event. Remember to subscribe to the podcast at cspro.com/backstage or wherever you get your favorite podcast so you too can be in the know. Set those reminders. We drop these episodes on the first and third Thursday of every month, and I look forward to presenting you with more things in the next one. Peace, everybody.